today. So I decided to go ahead and make part 2 of my video that I attempted to make earlier today, AUTOMOBILISTA 2 version 1.1.1.3, AI performance in the wet, where I discovered a bit of a scary bug. And I decided this time round I'd just run that test again, just the bit with the AI driving a race going from dry to wet, and see if I could get through it this time without having to pit and have the steering wheel ripped out of my hands. And this time I finished the race. Bug's still there though. Anyway, if you want to see it, here it is. Okay, so here we are again. My last video I tried to do a race from the dry to the wet and show you that, but I ran into a very nasty bug which almost took my thumb off. Gonna try it again. Hopefully this time I can give you a better illustration of what happens. So, off we go. In the Ginetta G40 at Oulton Park. And see if I can try a bit harder on the racing this time. You know, try and stay well within the pack. Nearly made a place there. Can I secure that on the way down at Cascades? Not quite, in fact, a little bit sideways. So far going about as well as the last time round. I'll try and make up some pace here at Island Corner. Brake as late as I can, coming to Shell Oil Corner. Okay. A little bit closer to the back of the pack this time. Let's see what we can do with the chicane. Oh! Ha ha ha! Through on the inside at Falkirk there. I've surprised myself with that one. He's right behind me. On my left, he's not giving up. Oh, he's just started braking. He's all that curb. Man, do I love this track. Right, so we've made one place. Car in blue there. Keeping up well behind. See how it all goes through Druids. Brilliant challenge there through the double apex. And making places. This is good. Oh, competition from the red car there, not giving up on the outside. So the AI, whilst driving, the AI in general are, I was said in the last video, so much better when they're on the attack now. And I'm pretty sure they're only going to keep getting better. The blue car there has dropped back a bit whilst me and the red car here have been battling. I'm going to... Oh! I've gone sideways again. No, tank slapper. Blue car's had a look, but he had to slow down a bit too much. No, he's still there on me back quarter. He's not going to go down. He went down the inside at Island. Did you see that? What a move. That's gutsy. Brilliant racing so far. That side-to-side movement in the latest update has been looked at again, and that's to make their overtaking skills a bit better. And here comes the rain already. It's a bit early. Let's see what's going on here. So the rain is set to change halfway through. I've got it set to sync to race. But It's an early onset of rain. That doesn't matter because it's the change of behaviour between the weather slots we want to see. So good to have these working wipers now in the Ginetta, in all the Ginettas now. And I'm going to go very wide there, aren't I? Yes, I am. Don't hit the tyres or use too much throttle on the grass. We know where we'll end up if we do that. I'm feeling those serrated curves straight through the seat with Pete's bit of kit that I've now got built into my seat. It's fantastic, it really is. I can feel it when I'm locking up as well. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I mentioned in the last video that my mate Pete, I was toying with the idea of getting myself a butt kicker, which I'm sure you already know, but if you don't, it's a tactile transducer which vibrates your seat as you go over bumps and things like that to add realism. He's built a seat cushion which has little motors in it with weights on them, so kind of the same thing, but his version has 4 of those around the seat, and you don't need an amplifier like you do with the butt kicker. It just plugs in USB, and he's a genius because it's brilliant. I can feel every time I change gear as well, there's a little thump through the seat. And I'm going wide. I'm going very wide at Druids. Little undulations in the road, I can feel those as well. I can tell why people who, once they get a tactile transducer, a lot of people, if they get the settings right, it's quite a lot of work to get the settings right, otherwise you might as well not bother. I'm using SimHub, but once you have, you know, I've heard a lot of people say they wouldn't want to go back to not using one. And getting proper sideways on the way down to Cascades here. Some of that rain's now, you know, yeah, feeling the rain on the track. And I am way behind. Lots of noise for the brakes as we come into Shell Oil corner there. Right, try not to make a mess of this. Very easy to make a mess of that chicane. But we've got through tidily. Oh! The same can't be said for that chicane. Feeling those curves on the outside again. Every time you go through Druids and get it right, if you're as bad a driver as I am, you think to yourself, thank God. Oh, okay, we're catching up. So, right. So last time around we did this, some of the AI, well, all of the AI pitted. This time, some of them are pitting, some of them are staying out. So let's see how the ones that are staying out and me deal with this track while still on slicks as it gets wetter and wetter, and I might schedule a pit stop for maybe the end of this lap. Very slippery now, very slippery indeed. Visibility is of course decreasing as well as the spray comes off the back of the car. Brilliant visual effects, just can't be argued with, you know, no matter what you think of this sim. Oh, don't hit the grass. In other aspects, the visuals are spectacular. Really losing a lot of grip, better schedule that pit stop. There we go, that's the pit stop scheduled. We are running 15th out of 28th. Oh, no wonder they slowed down so much for the chicane there. I went very wide on the exit. Traction on the way out is a bit of an issue. A lot slower than the dry, as to be expected. Good stuff. So their behaviour now, especially around corners, when on slicks on a soaking wet track, is so much better. They slow down about as much as you, and they cope a lot better. They don't instantly just completely sort of give up and end up doing 2 miles an hour everywhere. Careful here at Druids. They've slowed down quite a bit at Druids there. So not... Okay. Right, I think there's going to be a lot of us all pitting at the same time. Now, hopefully this time round, I won't go into the pits and suddenly my steering will go weird. Pit speed limiter on. Here we go. No, pit box occupied. Well, I had scheduled the pit stop, so why is my pit stop or pit box occupied? I'm going to go in anyway. Ah, my steering just... Right, it is letting me pit. My steering did just really pull there. So there is a definite bug there, which is... I think if I'd have come in and swerved in earlier before the pit box, it would have done that as I was driving along. That was pretty scary. But we've got our tyre change this time round, so off we go. So we're now back down at 26th place again. Take off our pit limiter. We're on wet tyres. Just double check they have put the white tyres on yet. So 26th place. So now we're all on, or a lot of us at least are on wets. I can't guarantee that all of the AI are on wets. So, as I showed in the last video, they're much better in the wet, but they're still slower than you relative to their performance in the dry. So I should be able to now start making up places. So obviously what we want, and I'm sure Reason will get there with this, is we want the AI's ability to be as good in the wet. Obviously not going to be as fast in the wet, none of us are, whether we're AI or real people, because it's wet. But we want their ability to be as good as it is, or relatively as good as it is in the dry. However, it is just generally a much better race now if you do have transitions, because as I said before this patch, they really weren't too good at all. So yeah, I am catching them there at Druids quite a bit easier now in the wet, but I'm still getting a decent race. Try and get out of the spray here and see round these cars a bit. Are they going to start braking? They're braking there. Oh, blocked slightly. So, right. By my side there, now dropping back. Not quite sure why he's dropped back so easily there. Using the curve on the inside to pull the car around. So we're in the slipstream, but that does mean visibility gets lower. If I didn't have two cars blocking the road in front of me, I would have overtaken one of these guys by now. And as you saw back there in the dry, you know, I was way at the back of the pack, and I've left my braking too late. Cadence, whoops. This car having no ABS, I'm having to pump the brake pedal as to not fully lose control in a locked up slide. The rain affects in terms of graphics and the sound, the fact that the tyres make a very different sound when they're sliding, very much what I'd expect from real life. It's so good. Right, can I make it down the inside at Lodge? It's a risky one. We're side by side, the blue car, they're not giving up though. But yeah, I've got the legs as we come out. I think he's just, no, he's still there. He is still there. He is making me work for it. And we've just got past him. And I've made a shambles of cascades there. Blues come up behind me again. And then I've just accelerated as he's braked to not go into my back bumper. Very good avoidance of a rear end there by the AI, I must say. See, that bug in the pits where the wheel really suddenly tugs to one side does worry me. And in fact, I've had it now in testing happen a couple of times since I made the last video. Wouldn't be very nice if you had I mean, this wheel's pretty strong, about nearly 8 Newton meters of torque on this, but direct drive wheel, you get an even stronger effect. Anyway, back to the update. So another thing that's been done with the AI in patch 1. Or version 1.1.1.3 is that they have reduced the AI or limited the AI's lift-off throttle over puddles to 50%. Right, we're through at Druids on the inside. He's gone really wide out onto the curb. So their behaviour over puddles now should be somewhat different. I'm not sure what to expect from that, to be honest. But we are now getting puddles building up on the track. Maybe we'll get an example of that in this race. Could have done maybe with dropping down to second there, or might have just got a loss of traction, so maybe third's fine. Down the inside at Cascades, whoa! And I've just made it past black and green because he's put two wheels on the curb, but that shouldn't have made him slow down so much. But yeah, I'm making it through the pack much better now, you know, much more easily now it's in the wet. So, well, I've made the point enough times on that, but it is all going in the right direction. It is all, everything's getting better. But, I mean, if we check our position, 15th. Is that 15th? Yeah, 15th. In the dry, I would be at the, you know, near the back of the grid, for sure. Pump the brake, pump the brake. There's a big puddle building up on the inside of the chicane there. But the AI, none of us are taking the line that, well, we're not taking the line that goes over it, so I'm not seeing what happens. Interesting moves going on with these two, the green and the orange car, having a little battle between each other, very close to the back of the orange car there. They're all slowing a bit too much for endurance. Come on guys, you can take more speed through there. This look left and right, I really hope that they make that instant. When I press that button, I want to be looking out of my side window the moment I press it. Not this slowed down sort of pan. It's racing, I need that glance instantly. That's one thing I'd like to see changed. And we're done. So, I guess the conclusion, if there is a conclusion, is that it's much better in the wet now, but you know, they don't give up. Their behaviour as it starts raining when they're on slicks is much better. It's much more, you know, similar to, they're losing grip like you'd lose grip, but they're, you know, they're not slowing down and giving up. They're still driving. But then they change to the wet tyres, and their performance in the wet on wet tyres is just not the same as it is in the dry, comparable to your own. So if it starts raining halfway through a race, or you set it to do that with the AI, you've got a pretty good chance of then beating them quite easily. I'll come in 14th place. But everything is getting better. Glad I did this follow-up video. Like I said, I'm worried about that bug, but it's all looking pretty good. Right. Cheers for watching.